All right, we are looking forward to catching up with San Diego State assistant Chris Acker. Aztecs completely rolled this weekend at the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, they
it was
did.
I mean, it was unbelievably impressive. You looked at it. Historically, the Aztecs at Air Force in the Mountain West were 9-11 all time heading into that series, and they won those two games by a combined 69 points, and Matt Mitchell returned. So, Coach, it is great to have you with us. Let's start with Matt. I mean, how pleased were you with seeing him back on the floor, his contributions in playing 14 minutes last night for you?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, guys. It's always good when, someone of Matt's caliber is out there on the floor. You feel good about your chances to win a game when he's out there. But his leadership, throughout the course of him being out and how he performed and just his mindset the entire time was awesome. So, whether he was out there or whether he's not, his presence was felt by our entire program.
Coach, at this point in the season, I think you can evaluate and think about what type of team you have. So who are you guys? Are you the team that loses to Utah State back-to-back, or are you the team that absolutely demolishes Air Force back-to-back? Or is it somewhere in between?
Well, I think we're just a team that takes every game very seriously. We try to improve night in and night out, whether that be in practice or whether that be in games. And, our mindset is just to get to the next day and focus in on what we can control. We have a veteran group that understands that, we have to continue to push forward no matter what the outcome is. And so I think we have a group that's willing to do whatever it takes to win. And sometimes, teams play better than you and you live with the result, but that's the beauty of having a veteran group. You get out there and you perform and you prepare for the next game. So, night in and night out as a staff, we love our team, we love our group, and we're just thankful that we have this type of leadership on our roster.
San Diego State men's basketball assistant coach Chris Acker joining us right now on Xtra 1360. Coach, I'm curious, what type of adjustment has Terrell Gomez had to go through this season, transferring from CSUN? Not a typical offseason, obviously, not a typical non-conference either. He's gone from a sixth man to a starter now. What has the last 12 weeks, 14 weeks been like for Terrell?
Well, I think Terrell's done a tremendous job of just buying into whatever we've asked him to do, and we've tried to keep it really simple with him. And we've just asked him to be himself. And so within that, he's tried to figure out, what he can bring to this group, from a leadership standpoint, but also from the standpoint of playmaking, which is something, he didn't do a ton of at CSUN. And so now he's starting to put it all together, and he's really, settling in and trying to figure things out. But he's really coming into the point now where he's becoming a version of who he was at CSUN, but also a better version of what he's becoming now at San Diego State. So I think Aztec fans are in store for something special moving forward as the season continues with Terrell.
The commitment from the players this season is absolutely unique. You have a pandemic, the testing, the sequestering and isolation from family and friends. You guys are really the only people you see on a daily basis or a weekly or a monthly basis now that the season is getting going. What is it like as a coach watching the buy-in from your team?
Well, it's amazing, actually. I mean, we were talking about it today when we flew back in town from Colorado, and we have a short prep for Wyoming, and we see our guys right after a plane ride back from Colorado to San Diego, go into a film session and you look around the room and not one guy is tired, not one guy is sleepy-eyed. Every guy is eyes wide open, ready to get ready. Guys are communicating about how we have to guard them. And so you just feel special to be a part of it, because this is a group that, they've been through a lot together, and they understand what it means to wear that Aztec jersey. And so it's just a special environment, given the circumstances, to be in, to just know you have this type of group that you're going to war for every single day. So it makes you push further as a coach to, try to get the most out of them and also get the most out of yourself.
Coach, I'm really impressed by your freshman class. What I've seen this year, obviously their prospects for the future as well. Can you tell us about this group? I mean, it's Lamont, it's Keith, it's Shea. What role they've taken on, behind the scenes that we don't see, and what they've been able to contribute for you on the floor during games.
Well, I mean, they're a huge part of our success. I mean, they first and foremost, it starts from the top. It starts with Coach Dutcher setting the tone and helping those guys understand that defense is the most important thing. That's what this program, that's the backbone of this program is our defensive mindset. And so, these guys all scored at a high level in high school. And so they're making their adjustment now to becoming, players that can play on both sides of the basketball. And so that being said, what they've done is they've tried to take it upon themselves to get better in that area. And so it makes our team that much better when we can put them out there on the floor, even at the end of games, when the score might be out of reach a little bit, and they start understanding that it's important still to continue to set the tone when they're out there on the floor, regardless of the score. So just by their buy-in and them understanding where they are in the program makes our program better. And there's no jealousy, there's no envy. It's just about them getting better day in and day out. So it's a credit to Coach Dutcher and what he's done with the program, but it's also a credit to our veteran leaders who what people don't see behind the scenes is, Adam Seiko, Matt Mitchell, Jordan Shackle, those guys pulling those young guys to the side and just telling them, I remember last night being out on the floor and, Shea and Lamont and Keith were out there together and Adam was standing up and he was basically coaching the team, from the sideline. And so those are the special moments, and those are the moments that, those young freshmen will look back on and say, when it's my turn to be in that situation, I'm going to do the same thing. And I think that's what separates teams from programs, and we have a special program here at San Diego State.
There's no question about it. We sit here and we talk about this a lot, actually. Just so impressed by the quality of character of the athletes you guys bring into the program, because year after year we get to speak to these guys, and the maturity level is high, and the aptitude as far as basketball IQ and just really ability to convey thought is extraordinary. So you have this leadership, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that appears to be the strength of this group. You have this leadership, you have a veteran team, you have great communicators. What are the areas of weaknesses, Coach?
Well, like all players, right, you get distracted by things that, you can't control. I think it's the case with any program, NBA, college, high school. You start worrying about things that are out of your control, and it's our job as coaches to reel them back in and help them focus on the things that are important, whether that be playing time, whether that be starting, whether that be, what plays call for them or whatever the case may be. So we're just as susceptible to those things as any other team. We just have the mental fortitude to be able to, once it's coached and once it's talked about, our guys are strong enough to embrace it and turn it around right away and get back focused on the things that are important. So, we have, like you said, we have great leadership, but we also have guys that understand that they're human and understand that, we have to get better and we have to stay focused. And, even though there's games we go out there and we feel like we're the most talented team, there's also games where we go out there and we're not the most talented team on the floor. So we have to utilize our mental strength and our physical strength out there on the floor together so that we can, hopefully come out with a successful outcome.
Can it be hard sometimes to keep the team focused when members of the media, this happens in the press conferences, they ask the players, hey, you guys are playing teams that are below you in the standings right now. Hey, you need to win X amount of games in a row before Boise State. These are young men. These are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. So how do you prevent them from looking ahead, even in series, to game 2 of a series before, playing game 1, like you'll play on Thursday against Wyoming?
Well, quite honestly, we have a lot of guys on our roster that have been through a lot of things in their lives. You know what I mean? And as you get to know these guys and get to talk to them a little bit, you start figuring out that, for them, it's a basketball game. So that's not really pressure for them, and you saw that a lot last year with the group that we had. We have a lot of guys that would consider themselves to be underdogs, under-recruited, underappreciated, and now they're in a program like this where they can showcase their abilities individually, but also it's a collective effort with each and every one of them that have a like mindset, and you put that together and you carry a chip. We always feel like we've been, disrespected, underappreciated, whether it be rankings, whether it be, what people say away from us, and, after a loss, what's said on Twitter. Our guys have all of these different things that they, that they go to continue to keep them pushing forward. And so, when media and different people like that talk about, what they have to do to win, trust me, they've already talked about it. They've already read. They already understand what it means to, maintain a lead in games and to beat teams that they're supposed to beat. And again, that's the beauty of having a veteran group.
No question about it. And it's been a very, very fun season from this standpoint, watching these guys perform, especially all things considered with the pandemic and the many obstacles with travel. Chris, we appreciate the time, and Coach, go get them on Thursday. Obviously, we'll be here broadcasting it all. Pregame starts at 1 p.m., tip-off at 2 as the Aztecs take on Wyoming. Thanks for your time.
I appreciate you guys, and go Aztecs.